Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. So, Biden is selling off massive amounts of border wall that is unfinished, all in attempts to thwart Trump's plan of building the border before he's even in office. So, the whole point of this is clearly to remove the materials, sell them for cents on the dollar, just so Trump doesn't have the materials ready and available to actually begin construction of the border wall. This seems like, even in Trump's own words, that this is not an indication of a peaceful transfer of power. It's just undermined last minute tactics in Biden's last month just to screw with the future president. And this is what Trump had to say about this in Florida during his recent press conference.
The administration is trying to sell it for 5 cents on the dollar, knowing that we're getting ready to put it up. And what they're doing is really an act. It's almost a criminal act. They know we're going to use it, and if we don't have it, we're going to have to rebuild it, and it'll cost double what it cost years ago, and that's hundreds of millions of dollars, because you're talking about a lot of wall. I built much more than I said I was going to build, but then after it was built, I said, we can do some more, because it's sort of like water, people flow through, and that will pretty much really take care of it. And what happened is they just, as you see, they're trying to sell it for 5 cents on the dollar. And that's really, that has nothing to do with a smooth transition. That has to do with people really trying to stop our nation. And all it means really is that we're going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars more, not even talking about the time. Time would be pretty long, but we'll spend hundreds of millions of dollars more on building the same wall that we already have. And people have already come back to us that have deals at 5 cents and 4 cents, and one guy at 3 cents on the dollar, and they offered to sell it back to us at more money than it cost us to build substantially. Can you believe it?
So yeah, selling it for cents on the dollar. Why would you even sell it right now? When Trump says, I'm going to use it, I want to use it, and they say, no, we're going to get rid of it for basically no profit whatsoever. We just want to get rid of it just to mess with you. Because like Trump said, it's going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars to buy it back, because he's going to buy it back. He wants to build the wall, but now he's got to go back to Congress and he's got to get more money for the wall. And it's going to cost you, the American taxpayer, even more money. And then they can point to that and say, oh, well, Trump's spending hundreds of millions of dollars more than what he said it would take to build the wall, right? It's twice as expensive as he said it would be. It's like, well, yeah, because he bought all the materials, you sold them all for a couple cents, and then he had to buy them all back again. But it's just the underhanded tricks to say, look at Trump's causing so many problems, when really you're the one doing it, and then blaming it on him because he, obviously needs the materials to build the wall to solve the problem of the border crisis, which you also started. But somehow it'll still be his fault. He'll still be in the wrong no matter what he tries to do. So it's just a very last minute underhanded tactic. And here, I can even show you, I have a video from the Daily Wire, and this is clips of the border wall segments that are actually being sold off and what that looks like. So it's pretty sad to see this sort of thing happen when they say there's going to be a peaceful transition of power. But when the future president, Trump, makes indications of what he wants done, what he wants there, let's put a freeze on things for the next couple months until I'm in office. No, Biden's got to ram through as many policies as possible in his final days. And most of them are just policies directed at messing with Trump. Just very petty things, trying to ramp up the war in Ukraine last minute, and then they can pin it on him, trying to sell off all the border wall last minute, then they can pin it on him. Just things that are not beneficial to anybody in any capacity, but the only reason for it is to leave Trump in a devastated state, which hopefully he will not be able to recover from in 4 years. I don't think that's going to go to plan. I think Trump is going to very easily be able to remedy these situations. However, it will, probably require effort that wasn't necessary, and then like accrued expenses that weren't necessary either, especially in this case for the border wall, that they can point to a number and say Trump, had to spend all this extra money to build the border wall, which he said, Mexico was going to pay for or whatever. Just a joke, really. And I think people can see through it because you see clips like this from the border that the Daily Wire acquired. Trump coming out and saying like this is happening before I'm even president, and everybody can share that around on X or whatever platform they prefer, and then just this stuff gets out there, right? These underhanded tactics don't make Biden or his administration look very good or palatable, because even this, you have to admit, like, why would you even do that, right? Last month, why is it a priority to sell off pieces of the border wall for cents on the dollar? Why not even just like leave it there? What's the harm, right? So, there's no really good, clear explanation for doing this other than sticking it to Trump. And I think people see that. I think they realize it. I think that the animosity is still there, regardless of what was said on the surface about it being a peaceful transition of power. It's going to be peaceful as in like Biden's going to walk out that door and Trump's going to walk in. But I think right up to the last moment, Biden's going to try to screw with Trump in as many ways as humanly possible. We'll just have to see what that ends up being, across the board. It probably is going to be a couple more things because we have a couple more weeks left to ramp up some of these policies and really schemes and shenanigans. And how Trump will react to it, I think he's just going to keep giving public addresses and saying, this is what's going on behind the scenes, and this is what Biden told me, and this is what we want to get done. And I told him I would like it if you didn't do this or didn't do that in your last final weeks, but he said no. And I think that's important. I think that's that, transparency that Trump is offering is to say, like, this is what's going on behind the scenes, which you guys aren't allowed to hear. And I think that doesn't make the Democrats look particularly palatable to anybody when it comes to just blatantly trying to handicap the things Trump wants to do, despite the will of the people, voting him in office to get those things done. So that's my thoughts on this. I think it's really silly. I think Trump's going to build the wall one way or another, and there's nothing really they can do about it. So they're just trying to delay as much as possible and maybe find an excuse to get him to stop. But it's clear they don't want to stop the border crisis, but soon they won't have control over it. Trump will be in charge. He'll put Holman in charge and he'll lock it down. And that's going to be a good thing for all Americans. So that's my thoughts on this. I appreciate it if you made it all the way through the video. If you like the content, like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you for watching.